Good morning, students of class 6. Last video we have finished the chapter 1 of civics. Now we are again coming to the history, chapter number 6, kingdoms and rise of kingdoms and republics. Okay. In this topic, we have to learn about the later Vedic period. In the previous chapter, I think in chapter 4, you will have already learned about the early Vedic period. So definitely you will be knowing that Vedic period is referred from 1500 BC to 600 BC. Okay, and early Vedic period was from 1500 BC to 1000 BC. Yes, and the latter Vedic period that we are going to discuss today, it starts from 1000 BC to and it ends in 600 BC. Okay. So in latter Vedic period, what changes occurred from early Vedic period, we will discuss, and in the discussion, we will come to know that how now in latter Vedic period, kingdoms and republics came into existence. What is kingdom? What is republic? Kingdom, it means a territory over which a king rules. So the area in which a king rules, that is called kingdom. Okay? And what is a republic? We will later discuss in this topic, because already we have to discuss this thing in detail. Okay, so now let's start. What happened in the latter Vedic period? The large scale forests were cleared, and after clearing those forests were converted into cultivable land, and we all know that we get more and more crops if the land is fertile. Okay, so in latter Vedic period, we all know that iron tools were discovered. In latter Vedic period, people discovered iron tools. In early Vedic period, people used copper and bronze. So we can say in the metal, people in latter Vedic period, they achieved a great success after discovering the iron. We know that today the development of all the countries is based on iron, because it provides the basic raw material for the secondary activity for the industries. Okay, when there will be no iron, there will be no any machines, and all these developments that we see today, you can't just imagine these things without the iron, okay, which were discovered in latter Vedic period, and this is the biggest achievement in this period. We all know that in Vedic period, perhaps in earlier classes you must have been taught that who were Aryans. So Aryans were tribes actually who came from Central Asia and settled in the north or northwestern part of India in the beginning. Okay, and they actually in the Vedic period, Aryans were in early Vedic period also, and the Aryans they again were in later Vedic period. So Vedic period is totally dedicated to the Aryans. We are all the Aryans, the Indian people. Okay, so we were tribes. Aryans were tribes. How? Because we all know that the name of our country was given as Bharatvarsh in the name of a tribe, Bharat. So Bharat was a tribe, and upon his name, the name of our country was given Bharatvarsh. Okay, and the tribals groups, there were many tribal groups in the Vedic period, and we all know there is a head of each tribal group, the powerful person, the most powerful person, the most able person. At that time, they used to become the head of the chief of the tribal groups, and these tribal groups actually used to fight among themselves to acquire the more and more territory. Okay, for the cattle they battled in the previous chapter. We have already learned. Okay, so what happened in later Vedic period? Now come to the topic. Aryans, after the invention of iron tool, they started clearing the forests. So without iron, without axe, we could not cut the trees at that time. Okay, so they started clearing forest, and they got the fertile land when they moved towards northern India, in UP, in eastern UP, in northern Bihar. Now they stepped in towards the northern India, and we all know that North India is very fertile because it is plain area and even soil is found here. Okay, the rivers, three important rivers, Sindhu, actually Hindu, we can also say Ganga, Brahmaputra, their tributaries, they all flow in northern plains. So that's why these areas were very important, and that's why the Aryans were attracted towards North India. So first they settled at the border, in northwest, and now they were just moving inside the country, moving towards deep north. They have now reached to UP and Bihar. Okay, and in this way, the powerful tribal groups and their kings, they were now establishing their large kingdoms in the northern part of India. Okay, and in the regions where the Aryans stepped in, those regions where those kingdoms, they made those regions their kingdom, and actually those kingdoms were called Janpads. Jan means tribe, we call tribe, or we may also say Jan. So in the new regions, now the tribal groups, they are stepping in, they are stepping their foot. Okay, so Pad, step, and Jan, tribe. So in this way, the new kingdoms in later Vedic period were now referred to as Janpads. So kingdoms now they are began to be called Janpads. Okay. So this part we have concluded. This was the first paragraph of your book. The next topic in our book is, what are the sources from where we get the knowledge about the later Vedic period, about the kingdoms, about the Janpads. Okay. So we all know there are two kinds of sources. One, literary sources, and the other one is archaeological sources. Literary sources means the books, different types of books. Some are religious books like Ramayana, Mahabharata, Veda. The Rig Veda that was composed in early Vedic period, Rig Veda. That is why early Vedic period is also called Rig Vedic period. And the next three Vedas, Atharvaveda, Samveda, Yajurveda, and the other literary works which were based on these Vedas were called Brahmans, Upanishads, okay, Purans, the epics Ramayana and Mahabharata. All these were composed, written during the latter Vedic period, except one, that was Rig Vedic period, which was composed in early Vedic period, Rig Vedic period or Vedic period. Okay. So these, the Brahmans, these literary works which I have just told, the early Buddhist texts also, Buddhist books also, which gave information about this time. Okay, so these are the literary sources to learn about the later Vedic period, about the kingdoms, Janpads. Later we will know what is Mahajanpads. So this kind of information, their life, their political system, their religious life, all these kinds of information we will get through these literary sources. Okay. Now one more source is there, archaeological source. What is archaeological source? So you can take example of monuments, buildings, coins, potteries, jewelries, fossils, the remains of plants and animals. Okay, all these are examples of archaeological sources. So there are, I said pottery. So in our book, the red ware pottery, and one more was there, grey pottery, painted grey ware pottery and red pottery. They were the color, just these were the color. In these colors at that time the potteries were made, so red and grey. So these were the archaeological sources which give us information about later Vedic period. Next we talked about monuments, buildings. So Purana Kila in Delhi and Hastinapur, we all know during Mahabharata, Hastinapur, perhaps in near Haryana or Punjab, perhaps it is located. Okay, so Purana Kila in New Delhi, and I just said Hastinapur, where the places, the sites, these were the sites and the buildings at those sites gave us knowledge about the later Vedic period. And the potteries we have discussed, the plants that grew at that time were rice, wheat, barley, pulses, sugarcane, etc. We also found these plants at some sites of later Vedic period. So these were the archaeological source by which we get the information. Next, we are going to go, read what is republic and monarchies. Republic and monarchies. We all know India is a republic as well as democratic. Okay. So what is republic? Republic means if the government of a country, if the head of the country, not the head of the government, the head of the government is Prime Minister and the head of the country is President. Okay. So if the head of the country is an elected person, that is called a republic. So India is a republic. It means the president is the head of our country, and indirectly we people elect our head. So that is called a republic. Yes. So did you understand what is the meaning of republic? Now monarchy. We have no right, we have no power, we have no freedom to choose if our rulers, then that country, that part, that area will be called monarchy. It will be ruled by a dynasty. What is dynasty? That only the rulers, their family members, there is hereditary right, okay, to rule over areas. Okay, no people can choose any person of their wish, of their choice to rule in our country. Okay, what happens in kingdom? Yeah, the king, the families, the dynastic families, from one generation to another, the son, the father, his son, his grandson, and so on. If only those persons, only if the members of the same family is ruling over us, that is called monarchy. So that is the difference between monarchy and republic. Republic, we can elect our ruler, but in monarchy we cannot elect our ruler. In simple words we can say this is the difference between republic and monarchy. Okay. So when we just discussed what is Janpads. Now we are discussing what is Mahajanpad. So Janpad means we have just talked the kingdoms of tribes were called Janpads, and when the head of tribe, when the head of kingdom, after war, if the ruler is beating or taking victory over another area, over another ruler, and then they are capturing over the areas of other ruler of the territory, and thus they are making their kingdoms, their Janpads, bigger, larger. So when Janpad, the small kingdom, changed into bigger kingdom, that is called Mahajanpad. Okay, there were 16 Mahajanpads. Among those Janpads, some of the important Janpads were like Vajji in northern Bihar. It was a republic. We have just discussed what is a republic. So Vajji in northern Bihar, it was a Mahajanpad, there was a republic. It means the people elected their rulers in Vajji Mahajanpad. Okay, and other Janpads were like Magad in Bihar. Magad was the monarchy. So Magad was also in Bihar, and there the political system was monarchy. But Vajji once again in Bihar, it was also Mahajanpad, but their political system was different. It was called republic. Okay. So in the next video, Avanti was one of the also important Mahajanpads. In the next video, we will discuss the latter topics. Till then, goodbye.